All right, guys. I guess it's time to talk about what it would be like for life without. Well, I guess we don't know is life without. This is why a couple of videos ago I said I can't wait for this to. I just not can't wait, but I need this to go ahead and happen personally, the fan in me, because there is a cloud around the suspension, and we're not playing well inside of that cloud. Zeke is not playing well inside of that cloud. So it's almost like the suspension is even longer because you got a suspension and you got this extra on top of it. So we've been going through, 5 games of this extra at the beginning of the season. Now we're going to get 6 games of the suspension. If we just got the suspension at the beginning, it'd be over with after the 49ers and we can just move on, conscience free. The problem is, you can't tell Zeke not to do this. Unfortunately, this thing, right or wrong, is gone. So I just don't know how he wins this whole thing. The fact whether he did or didn't do it or what happened in that situation, that is not the question. It's the question of, can the NFL do this or not? You know what I'm saying? And then and that gets really cloudy because you don't want it to happen in certain situations like this. But you want it to happen in certain situations where I do, the Hollywood producer out here, and there's tons more. Trust me, and I need that disgusting element taken out of Hollywood. That stuff needs to be rooted out. So I mean, it's such a tough thing. I'm not even versed in it enough to have an opinion about it. All I know is, as the Cowboy fan, I want this thing to be over with. I want it to be over with because it is one of the things that is screwing up my season this year. So if we can get this thing, if this thing can get over with, and Zeke, to me personally, he's going to have personal work done. He's going to have to work on Zeke because his life is going to be totally different moving forward. He's not going to be able to act anywhere near the way he acted before this whole mess. So I mean, there's that now. And he's going to have to deal with that. He can't deal with the outside elements anymore. He's going to have to deal with himself personally and making sure he doesn't put himself in any more situations where that could happen to him again. That's very key. If you think the world has screwed you over, you can't put yourself in a situation to allow the world to screw you over again. You got to make the world jump over some hoops to screw you over the next time. That's how you have to live your life now. So that's where we are right now. And last night watching the game, the Eagles, they put us in, and I told you that even before we knew that we were going to possibly lose Ezekiel Elliott, I said if the Eagles beat the Panthers, it's going to put us in a tough pickle. And now we're in that tough pickle, just like Pickle Rick, Pickle Shango. Sorry. but their formula is really working. I watched the game last night to try to hate on them, and I came away with nothing but, went still a couple of balls high, and I had some fun with that. But that was pretty much it. And they have the offensive line and defensive line. So it's going to have to be a real fail job moving forward in Philadelphia for them to lose steam. Now, fail job in Philadelphia, that just rolls off my it just rolls off my tongue like it can happen. But this team, it looks like they have an offense that's working. We know they have a defense. They have a great front seven there in Philadelphia, and now it looks like they have some pretty good coaching. And it's like I said, it's gonna have to fall apart. But life without Zeke, man, I'm ready for it. Now, what I need to remind everybody, and everybody's forgotten, we are clearly in rebuilding mode. We were in rebuilding mode last year. We just happened to have a 4th place schedule, and we happened to get some wins in that rebuilding year. It still was a rebuilding year. When we decided to get rid of half of our defense and bring all this youth in or whatever, we knew that this is another rebuilding year, but we still have some hope, man. If we can get this train moving, if we can do the right things, we can do something off this rebuilding year, because last year we did. So the most important thing, though, during these rebuilding years is to get information on young players. And this is a huge opportunity for us to get a lot of information on Mr. Dak Prescott. A lot. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of strong efforts from him, a lot of great plays, a lot of things. We're going to see him make some mistakes and let him work through those mistakes, because I mean it's going to be on his back. And during the game last night, I was saying that, you know, thinking back at Cam in 2014, I think that was the year where Cam was MVP. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the MVP Cam year, I can't see anything Cam was doing that can't be done with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is a force in the run game. He's powerful in the running game. I think he has a better arm than Cam, especially if you saw some of the passes Cam was throwing last night. I was like, man, we don't see that out of Dak, and people lose their mind. And that's a former MVP candidate. So I'm ready to see what Dak does and his mettle and what he's made of and how he makes of this situation. Another person will have a lot of real-time information on Rod Smith, and who would have thought that would be our favorite Smith by the bye? That we're all waiting to see Rod Smith, not Jalen. What I worry about, sorry, there's a little noise out there. I hope you can hear it. What I'm worried about is the running game. Until the second half of last week's game, our running game didn't look good. It looked like we needed Super Zeke. You know what I'm saying? And because he had to get most of his yards after contact, and we needed that Super Zeke, that extra Zeke, and the extra Zeke really wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Because Zeke is really not there in his head right now. So the whole thing wasn't really working until right there in the second half of that Green Bay game. So it's going to be hard for Morris and McFadden because they don't have the Super Zeke stuff going on with those guys. They can't do the things that Ezekiel Elliott can do in the backfield. So they're going to have to do what they do well, and the coaches are going to really have to put them in a good place. Now, as far as Morris, Marcus Mosher, some of you may follow him on Twitter. He has a lot of stats. I'm not going to throw him up here because I'm not going to bash Morris in any way. I'm trying not to bash. People think I bash him anyway. But his numbers are not really good with loaded boxes, Alfred Morris. So he's going to get a lot of loaded boxes, and he's going to have to run into a lot of players, you know, and it's going to take some very good blocking to open up parts for him. Now, if I'm a linebacker, this is how I'm playing. This is the problem with Morris, and this is the best way I can explain it. If I'm a linebacker and Morris is in the backfield, I'm not looking for him to go on the edges. I'm not looking for him to catch the ball out the backfield. I'm kind of not looking for him to block because he's not known as a blocker. But if he is, I feel like I can beat him in a one-on-one situation and get to the quarterback. I'm looking for him to make a zone run and cut back, a one-cut downhill punch. And that's what the 70-yard run that he did this year, straight down the middle punch. And it was an off speed. It was when they were taking a breath because Zeke went out, and you punch him up in the middle. That's what Morris is good for. Putting Morris into a 2-down, because he's definitely not going to be in a 3-down situation, but putting him in a 2-down situation, it really limits what the offense can do as far as the running game. So if you think we were simple before, we might, as an offense, get even more simple with Morris. Now, McFadden, on the other hand, that's my boy, but where is McFadden? Where's D-Mac? You know, D-Mac he's got a little speed. He's got decent speed so he can get around there. He's got decent hands so he can catch. He blocks decently. I don't say he's great at any of those things by any means, but he will keep a defense honest. You know, he would keep a defense looking for those things. Now, what he does well is he runs those power schemes well, where he can power his way through and run straight around the outside and hit and you've seen those runs. He'll follow his blocking and he'll run straight and around the outside and use his speed and get big chunks of yards. He was doing that in the preseason. So you'll see that again, and I think we're going to get some nice production out of McFadden if we can find him, if we can find him where we're at. He's not as good at zone runs as Morris. Morris is the zone run guy, so still Morris can come in and work as a complement with McFadden very well, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard because we're going to have 8-man fronts. And I'm telling you, the problem that we're going to have, those are little problems. The biggest problem I have is I don't want this whole thing to be an excuse to not go in on the coaching. That's the main thing. That's my first fear. And I said that in my video, I don't want this to be an excuse for the coaches. And after 10 years of watching Jason Garrett's offense, you know what we're going to get when they load those boxes up on the defensive side of the box. We're going to abandon the running game, and our quarterback is going to throw 50 plus times, and we're going to put a bad defense in a horrible situation again and again and again. That's what we've been doing over and over for the last 10 years. When someone even either stops our running game or looks like they're stopping our running game, we freak out and we start passing like crazy, and then we put the ball, put the defense in a horrible situation, and the defense is not built to stop those horrible situations. So that, if you start seeing that again, I don't know how you can't think about coaching, but I just don't think we will. I think for us to think that there will be any kind of major coaching change with the Dallas Cowboys, especially after this year with all these problems this year, it's absolute crazy talk. Absolute crazy talk. And defensively, we have a scheme that is used on most levels of football. People learn how to use the Tampa 2 when they're learning how to play against football. So it's going to be tough. And right now, we have to stop all this. I'm making this video, and we have to stop all this stuff and think about only the San Francisco 49ers, because that win to get us back to 500 football is crucial as it gets. So we have to beat San Francisco. They're playing against Washington. Shanahan knows everything about Kirk Cousins, so we need to sit there with our notepads, because that's 3 of our future games right there with San Francisco and Washington. 3 winnable games that we really need to win. But right now, just focus on the San Francisco 49ers, because if we do not beat them by some way, by some shape, because they only lost by 3 points on all the games. They played the Rams really tough. That it's not going to be like, oh, we just played the 49ers. Let's go in there and win this football game. No, we have to go in there. We have to win this football game. We got to get some confidence, and we have to then endure this storm, however long it lasts. All right, guys, holla at you. I'll see you on Sunday. Peace out.